my God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So this is another edition of Love Vibe Share, where every conversation, every rider's conversation, every conversation is a vibe, bringing us together one conversation at a time. All right. So I'm sitting here with Parker and
Mary Kate.
Mary Kate. All right, Parker, Mary Kate. You said you guys have been married for how long?
3 years.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
It was what, August 23. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah. So it's 3 years going on. Going on 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going on 3
We
years.
met, and then I think a month later you proposed.
Yeah, it was pretty
It was-
quick. Yeah, no, it was pretty
I feel
quick.
like when you know, you know.
Yeah,
Right.
I know. When I knew. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then, we didn't want to drag it out, so
Yeah,
just
no, we didn't.
straight
Yeah, straight to the courthouse. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. No.
So a part of what Love Vibe Share does is based on a kind of a philosophy or approach to love that I've kind of been researching for a while. And it's based on these 4 areas. I call it the 4 elements of love. All right. So the 4 elements of love are based on the 4 elements of ourselves: our spiritual self, our mental self, our emotional self, and our physical self. All right. And so I'm gonna ask you guys questions around that. So you all being a couple, and I'm not sure this first one may or may not apply, but how do you all consider yourselves spiritual people or religious people at all?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
relatively.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
We go to church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow,
how-
that's so much
That's a
hair.
lot. Yeah. She's got. Yeah. No, yeah. We're spiritual.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Could you? There's some overhead lights above you. Can you hit those lights so you can see?
Yeah.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
There we go. All right. So.
Really shining down on us.
So how do you nurture each other how do you nurture yourselves as individuals, and how do you nurture each other as a couple spiritually?
Want to
That's a good
start? Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah. I would say I nurture myself through, just staying on top of what I need to do.
Okay.
Just keeping the fitness is important.
Okay.
You gotta look good. You gotta feel good.
Okay.
You gotta. I think you don't want to give up after you find the one like
Right.
you did. You don't want to give up on your pursuit. Like, you don't want to give
Right.
up on what it means to be a man.
You want to keep the aesthetics.
So you wanna-
something for her to look at, right?
Yeah, you want to keep that going. You want to keep intellectually developing as well.
Right.
Learning new skills. I think that's where people go wrong. I think, like, in long-term relationships, is they get comfortable.
Okay.
And then they notice their partner's comfort as well, and then they kind of grow resentful.
Right.
So I think developing yourself while kind of maintaining a love and a care for your partner,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the mental part. So what are some things that interest you all as individuals or as a couple, like mentally? Like, what do you like to learn? What are some things that really spark your interest, like, mentally?
So we have like an ongoing mission in North Korea.
Okay.
So like a few times, like, throughout, it's gotten a little fewer and far between, just because of like what's been going on. But
the current regime.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But we kind of have a mission in North Korea where we try and build. It's very hard. We're not able to break through, but we kind of try and bring Bibles, like, do a little bit of this. It's a little bit kind of dangerous, but
Yeah.
we've done it to the point where we just kind of we haven't been in what, like, year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
It's been
I get it. It's a lot going on.
But yeah, there's an
Too much-
organization.
It's too
that,
much
like,
going on right
they-
now here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, they keep us safe. They
Yeah.
keep us safe.
That's what's up. Okay.
Um,
So what about emotional? How do you nurture each other emotionally?
Nurturing emotionally, I think, is just I don't know. What do you think? Just being there when the other person can't.
Okay.
Just
Oh,
kind of.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Do you-
just kind of trying to keep it going.
Do you find it easy to be vulnerable with one another?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
I think so. What, you don't think I do?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
You don't think I do? Yeah, no. I feel like, we keep it. I feel like I'm
What a
vulnerable.
great therapy.
Yeah.
This has been so nice to
Yeah,
find out. So nice and
No,
vulnerable.
you're pretty vulnerable.
Yeah, I'd
I mean,
like
you
to
can
think
be.
so.
Yeah,
I feel like
when
I
you have a
can-
hard day at work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when when Tasha makes you mad.
Yeah. When things hit the wall.
Yeah. Oh. No, I mean, I think I don't know. Just I don't think it's too hard. I think it's just understanding that that the other person is still going to be okay with you after
Right.
whatever you say,
Yeah.
no matter how good or bad the news is.
Yeah.
What got you started on doing the podcast? You got like the best voice for it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Well,
like you
I
got
mean,
like your voice
You
is
have
like
quite the setup.
your
too.
voice is made of damn olive oil and butter.
I
Man.
appreciate it, bro. You know, it's interesting. You know, honestly, I've never really liked my voice, but you're actually the third person since I started doing this that said something similar to that I have a nice voice, and I never thought of myself as having a nice voice, but
Well, it's like
I really appreciate it.
I feel like
honestly
very
appreciate it.
very like nice to listen to, like especially in the podcast environment.
Right. Okay. I really appreciate it. I'm very
Yeah,
thankful for that.
I mean it's really cool.
But yeah, so kind of what got me started actually, heartbreak, honestly. So I came up with the idea of the 4 elements of love. I actually I was in a relationship, and it was one of the many times we had broken up in this relationship, and I actually went up into doing. I wrote a love manual for myself, right? So
Yeah.
they say that love don't come with a manual, so I literally wrote a love manual, and because I'm a writer, I actually have a PhD in language and literacy education.
Nice.
And so as a writer, I just literally just wrote a love manual for myself, and I wrote it in 4 chapters. The first chapter was about my spiritual journey, how I all the different spiritual experiences I've had, and what I would need for my lady, for my partner.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Spiritually, I went and I did mentally, I did emotionally, and then I did physically. And so I did all those areas. Like it was a really good self-discovery type of activity, because I honestly, before that activity, I really didn't know what I wanted in those arears. Like I just, and so after doing that activity and going through and seeing all these different things, all my experiences, and really journaling it, and putting it on paper, it really helped me kind of through like a self-discovery type, like I said, a self-discovery event. And so after that, it was like I started telling people about it. It was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like write a love manual for yourself. And so I actually went back and did like a bunch of research. I really honestly looked at love, the psychology, and the theory of love, going all the way back to like ancient Greece, like Plato and all them. So I went through and researched, love from back, Socrates' days, and going through like the psychology and different like the love languages and all these different approaches to how love works and how we nurture love and how we become better partners. And so I came up with this idea. And so my ultimate goal is actually to have like this online platform where you go through like this self-discovery, kind of like what I talked about, where you write your own love manual, you learn more about yourself. You do go through like these self-discovery and self-awareness activities to learn more about yourself. And then you go into like these romantic awareness activities where you learn like what you want from your partner. And then once you actually get a partner, you all go through these like what I call romantic alchemy, where you kind of design, like really work on being better lovers, being better partners for each other.
Yeah.
And so that's my ultimate goal, and this person is going in the one way.
Yeah.
Man,
I feel like that's happening a lot
that is
recently.
somebody that needs an Uber. Yeah.
Clearly.
No, that's really good. What do you think? What do you think you've learned through like doing your episode, or just like your rides? Like,
so
everybody being in here.
Kind of another answer to your question. So that was kind of like what started me with with the 4 elements. But what really got me like really interested in like making this a podcast is that I've been seeing like the gender war right now, and it's really bad. Like men and women online, it's like the war we have right now is crazy, and it's really pronounced in the Black community. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm really, my goal is to like end the gender war and bridge the gap between men and women. You know what I'm saying? And so
why do you think it's like more pronounced in the Black community than like in other communities?
I think that, and it's in every community, but it's more pronounced in our community. I think is because just because we deal with institutional
like
institutional
racism.
violence,
Yeah.
through racism and all the other things. And when you have like when you have structural violence in your community, it makes everything else worse. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, Dr. James Gilligan, he talks about the juxtaposition or the correlation rather between poverty and violence, right? And so when you're dealing with all these things, it just makes everything else much more difficult.
Yeah,
and so,
desperation.
And so, as a woman, when society says that, the man's supposed to be a provider, and the man's supposed to do this and that, and the man is not doing that, then the women look at the man crazy, and then when all this other things. So I think we have a lot of societal and institutional things that we deal with more so than anyone else, and so I think that's why the gender war is more pronounced in our community.
This light.
Yeah.
Then, at the next one, turn
that
right
totally
onto
makes
Juniper
sense.
Street Northeast.
What do you think is the solution?
I think dialogue, number one. I think, I'm hoping that, having a framework like I'm trying to design now, having a framework in terms of how we approach one another, because right now I feel like one of the things is like, as a linguist, as a language person, one thing I realize is that we can say the same words, but we be meaning some different things, right?
Yeah.
You can be saying the same, literally using the same words.
Passive aggressive. You can be,
Well, that one, but we can literally, like, for instance,
At the next light, turn left.
provide, like that. Just the word provide, like everybody's saying meaning something different when they talk about provide. Everybody talks about something different when we talk about love. So one of the things is we need to have a common language, a common set of terms, so we all know that we're talking about the same thing. So we're not talking past each other, we're not talking around each other. Because one thing to your other question that I'm realizing is that men and women are both saying the same things that they want from each other. They both have the same sorts of complaints from each other about each other. We're saying the same things that we want and complaining about each other, and we're still talking past each other, right? So that means that there's a disconnect in terms of our language and in terms of our thought patterns, right?
Yeah.
And so what I'm hoping to do is create a framework to where we're actually talking to each other using the same language, using the same kind of approach to love and come together.
I think the main problem is just men don't grow up with like the ability to express themselves.
Absolutely. That's
the way that
sure.
they really should, because you listen to any argument between like a couple, like man and woman,
Mm-hmm.
like the woman is the most common anger point that I hear, from us, from like from all of our friends is like the woman says like, no, like it's not like I want you to want to do this.
Right.
I don't like it. Like that's like the most common thing on planet Earth is woman, what man doesn't want to do something that the woman needs, and instead of expressing why he doesn't want to do it, he just kind of like huffs and does it.
Right.
But he doesn't understand like like the needs that the woman might be experiencing, I think.
So what I'm hearing you say is that
I think men's mental health is not like focused on, or like just the ability to like express yourself like as a kid,
right?
Because you're kind of told to just like deal with it, and, like,
absolutely,
like sack up. And
that's why I asked you earlier the vulnerability question, because to your point, a lot of complaints that men have in terms of like relationships is that a lot of times women will weaponize their vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But to your point, what women will say is that they want to, like I said, they want their partner to have the innate desire, not to feel like they're forcing them to do the things that they want.
Yeah.
Which I think is valid as well. Like I mean,
it's everybody has a valid point.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody. I mean, obviously sometimes it takes a while to understand.
For sure.
Somebody, I mean, you've probably been in the position where you're like, man, like, why do you want me to do that? Like, why is such and such like a important such a thing of importance for
right,
you?
Right.
It is
yeah.
For some people. That's just how it is.
I think an innate desire to like want to support your partner is very important. And I think I also will want, because like just like with sex, right? Like I would never want my woman to like just be having sex with me just because I act like I want her to have the actual natural desire to want to be with me physically, right?
Yeah. You gotta be keeping it interesting.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Yeah, so I think those things are all important.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like the podcast. That's cool, man. You gotta is it on like YouTube?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys all the. I give you
Yeah,
all the,
no.
yeah.